Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Dice Cult for episode 56 of On the Backs of Gods. I
Woo!
am Jillian, and we have all of our players today. Same as always, we have Frank, Kyle, Mac, Josh, Abby, and Christo. Um, Boy, howdy. It's good to have everybody back. Last session was a wild one because you all are chaotic. Uh,
Chaotic AF.
yeah, it was a beautiful time. I had a great time, but it's really nice to get to see everybody looking back at me. That's something special, I think, and I'm sure because I'm excited about it, it will all break and be terrible in mere moments. I'll knock on some wood. So I think I'll go ahead and give us a nice little recap. Last session, I think, was pretty straightforward about what happened, so easy enough. The party had just finished deliberating about basically how they were going to go about casually blackmailing very powerful people possessed by powerful ghosts. And they decided to just boldly go, you know? So the party, everybody in tow, goes to speak to Freyrun and Nadia and begin to basically say, mostly from the mouthpiece that is Roshan for this, as everybody else stands at the wall and tries to remain very chill and casual and not break any of the rules. Roshan informs them that maybe they know a thing, and maybe it's in everybody's benefit for us to keep everybody's secrets and not kill each other. Or maybe somebody's secrets will get out. It could be a problem. And probably lucky for everybody involved, Freyrun drinks a wrinkle brain potion, which you've all been referring to it as. And you all are able to have a pretty civilized conversation where eventually you all come to terms that everybody will stay quiet, secrets will be kept, no one will attempt to murder the other or look into ways to thwart one another. This was the specific phrasing of the situation. That basically we will live in this truce and that's where we will remain. Or all shit will hit the fan from either side, both sides, every side. Chaos and war, you know. During this conversation, Gaza is brought in. Gaza is asked if she believes in and agrees with everything Freyrun is doing for Laminder. She does. And after that, Freyrun tells her basically very straightforward that she is a different person. Freyrun and Nadia are gone. And it is what it is. And Gaza does not seem to have any questions besides what of Freyrun and Nadia, to which Freyrun says that they are gone. There is no getting them back. So if they were to be murdered, you would not be acquiring two lost souls, per se. The party accepts the deal. Freyrun accepts the deal. Saga gets a handshake, and everybody books it. A quick conversation is had with Gaza, because Saga thinks something is up. She's not entirely sure what it is. Something she thinks related to Herserson, but unsure of any direction for it. And you all say that you would like to be friends, and Gaza says, don't break the rules. I won't kill you, and we can be friends maybe. And that was the big part of y'all's day, was getting this blackmail dealt with, and you got it dealt with. Nana and Torben went to the library because then I'd have to talk as all of them, and we know how it goes when I have to talk for Nana.
What are you talking about? You did a great job with Nana.
So they go to the library, and courtesy of Christo, Frank gets us a nice nat 20, and I've informed him of what that nat 20 means to him. The rest of you go to Island Life, where you basically kind of get your bearings, and then you have a nice little shopping episode where you buy some really weird little trinkets, and then you guys go to dinner, and that's where you learn about the slumber party. That Hersherson's girls are obsessed with Freyroon and have requested their father go ask her to let them spend the night.
She is kind of high glam and very tits out energy, so I understand that feel from a small child.
Yeah, it works for these girls age like 6 to 13, 14. They're all like, is this the coolest person in the room? Probably.
Yes, it is!
And after some slight begging on Hersherson's side, Freyroon reluctantly agrees to a sleepover the following night. So you all know there's a sleepover in the works. Also, Roshan has a nice conversation with Egill where he talks about his shadow openly and at his own pace for the first time. And Egill's like, if you want help, I'll help you. And if not, whatever you want to do. They also talk about the terms of their relationship. And Egill also shows Roshan that he's been using glamour to cover up a bit more of his tiefling attributes to get a little ahead in the world. And you all go to the party. Everybody is at this feast. It's not as glamorous as the first one, but you're all there. And it is a huge weight off y'all's backs. If nobody is lying, you guys are currently safe from at least one threat. You're still waiting for confirmation from Egill on another threat, but he says that will be given to y'all soon enough. Currently, you are all in the longhouse getting shitty if you want to get shitty.
Woo!
That's what it's about right now. So anybody is welcome to do basically whatever they like. If there's something they want to do, or if it's just, no, we all have a good night and then the aggressive passage of time happens. But is there anything anybody just wanted to do while at this party? Saga's been entertaining some children. Using some wild magic just for funsies. It worked out this time. So is there anything anybody wanted to do? Everybody's here.
Everybody? Like, is this like Smash where it's like everybody's here except Waluigi? Or...
No, Waluigi's here.
Oh, hell yeah!
Yeah. Let me roll up some stats and we'll get to it, boys.
I can't wait to hear your wah!
I have a pretty good one, but that's for later. Is there anything you'd like to do, Nanna? You can say if you want to speak to a person in particular, and more than likely they are here, but I'll tell you if they're not.
I do kind of... Provided everybody in the party seems chill, that's, first checkbox. If that is fulfilled, then Nanna will kind of look around, see whether or not she can spot Balder and kind of catch him up on events.
Lucky for you, when I described it, he was right next to you. So,
huzzah!
Lucky day for you, easy enough for you to be like, okay, here's what happened, and give him the rundown.
Mm-hmm.
He is in a very strange position.
Yeah.
Being in this situation, I will say when you guys talk about this, he informs you about how he's like, he has to keep this situation at an arm's length.
Yeah.
He appreciates that he was not brought up by name. He very much appreciates that and wants it to stay that way because he cannot be part of threatening a chief.
Yeah.
That would not be good for him.
He has to have that level of, plausible deniability. He needs to be able to, be a kind of free agent in this situation.
Yeah.
As basically our insurance. If we go missing, somebody's got to tell the Jarl.
Yeah. So he understands that is his thing. If something happens to you guys and it is proven to be Freyroon, he will do something about it. But until then, he has nothing to do with this. And
that's understandable.
Hoping nobody has anything to do with this because it's over, and he seems appreciative of that.
Yeah, it's not the outcome we wanted, but, bad as it is, it's as good as it gets, yeah.
And he gives you a pat on the back, and in the distance you just hear the like cheers of like 5 young girls who are just very excited about their future.
You know, I was their age once. I swear to goodness, I told my mother when I was 6 years old and she was making me wear a shirt in the hottest part of the year, which is, you know, maybe 1 week in the middle of summer.
There's that one damn week.
That one damn week! It's intolerable.
Hell's
I was
week,
so
right?
small and I was so impatient and I was hot and I wanted to, you know, throw off my shirt like all of the boys. And she was like, no, little girls don't do that. And I was like, why? And she was like, they don't. I felt it extremely unjust and honestly I can sympathize with them.
Well, I support you in however you wish to wear or not wear a shirt.
Not this time of the year.
I agree. I will be wearing a shirt currently.
I don't blame you for that.
And he gets you drinks and basically goes through the motions of keeping up appearances. You both are friendly with each other, but
Sure.
He makes the effort to like stand very close, put a hand on your shoulder,
Sure.
make sure he is bringing you things, and like just very much going like it's very showy.
Yeah.
But that's the point of it, is the thing.
And like I'm certain that Nana's well versed in like, you know, the correct recipient responses to like the courting gestures that are being done, you know, like she's very appreciative. She'll make a point to like, you know, smile very nicely and laugh at it. She likes him anyway. He's a decent guy. She thinks he's funny. And so it's not hard to keep up appearances, but she's sure to match him.
Yeah. Anybody else, anything in particular at this party? Saga's already convinced her gaggle of youths to spy on Faerun a bit while they're at the party.
Tordrick isn't really one for books. So by the time he gets out of the library, he's frizzle-fried brain-wise. Too much information in the old index. So he comes in looking quite zombie-ish, walks over to the bar, and asks for a bowl of ale.
A bowl?
A bowl of ale.
You watch as the person who's been sort of handing out drinks, like, looks at the horns, and then, like, just goes a bit over and, like, dumps a bunch of, like, bread out of a bowl. And just does, like, a full scoop into the barrel with this bowl into the ale. And sets it in front of you, and you're presented with a bowl of ale.
Extra yeasty.
And Tordrick takes the little Nine Sisters miniatures that he made, the little wooden ones, and does a quick prayer, and then just dumps his whole head in it, and just trying to get some of the beer and ale to wash his brain out. And he's just like moving his head around as much as he can. Comes up,
refreshed, glowing.
Takes a deep breath, and everything's fine again. Looks around and looks to see where the rest of the party is, where his friends are.
Yeah, I think your friends are a little bit spread out, but it seems everybody's at this party. Roshan is currently making the rounds with Egill. Saga, once again, around a gaggle of children. Nanna is with Valder. What are Finn and Gorbjorn up to?
Was I able to get the woodworking tools kit when we went shopping earlier?
If you went shopping and you would like to have gotten that, sure.
Okay. And the other thing, the similar vein thing? Yes. All right. And yeah, so that's 21 gold total that Gorbjorn will have to take out of the funds.
21?
What's that?
So 21?
Yeah.
Okay.
So Fenn's going to be just sitting in a booth or something like that, whittling.
Okay. You start a whittling. And Gorbjorn, after your purse is slightly lighter, what are you doing at this party?
I'm just gonna be getting drunk. To be honest, I was making a rainbow out of my dice. And
To be fair. I'm gonna be honest with you, Jillian.
playing with my dice here. You can let others roleplay.
Listen, I have all these dice. What do you want me to do? Not make a rainbow? No, I fully understand.
I'll post it in
Please do.
Yeah,
We need to see this.
It's a very fine option to just be like, I'm gonna drink and have a good time. Because that's what 99% of the people here are doing. So it is certainly acceptable. You all are welcome to stay as long and late as you want to. Is there anybody who would be turning in as part of the earlier crowd?
Roshan would like to. He'll probably leave whenever Egill does, but he wants to make sure he stops and talks to Alec Bromson.
Sure. We could do that real fast. Alec is there. Alec is mostly kept to himself during this. He sits with the chiefs. He has pleasant conversation, but he is near invisible a good amount of the time. I mean, you put anybody next to Van Deel Stromer, and they will be, hidden and dwarved, but you're able to catch him either around people or by himself if he goes to grab a drink.
Yeah, so Roshan will probably approach him as he's getting a drink and just tell him, I'm sorry I haven't been able to offer my condolences thus far. Your trip, it's been a busy week, but I wanted to thank you again for your hospitality. And I know that it sounds like you and Dagwood have been collaborating more.
I'd love you to roll insight just on that. Just
21.
Oh gosh, should he even roll? You're talking and he just he's kind of murmuring his responses, thank you when you're giving condolences, and he gets it to his lips, and there's just a moment where he chokes for half a and he just forces himself through it very casually. I think she is opening up a bit, which is nice to have someone like that in the community.
She informed me that she did not want to leave town, and that's why she didn't tell me that you'd asked her to come with until you had already gotten here. So, if you need assistance getting her out of her house, let me know.
That is very much appreciated. I've attempted to get her out of her home multiple times and have yet to be successful, though I have gotten through the house twice now, which is baby steps.
Roshan fights back the urge to ask about the state of the house and blood sinking into the floor, but he restrains himself and just wishes him a good rest of his stay in Galunder and gives him a handshake.
He accepts the handshake. He smiles, gives you his, basically returns the appropriate appreciation for your statements. And then kind of hovers for a solid 3 seconds and then and then makes it he has to go somewhere. All right. And then he goes back over to sit near Herserson, who also seems like a huge weight has been lifted off of his shoulders. But that won't fully be until the next night, but just seems a little lighter. But you're able to get to talk to him. Saga, you said you were part of Team Leave Early?
Yeah, I mean, probably after all the kids go to bed and everything. It's all kind of a little too rowdy and boring. So, I'll probably just turn
Rowdy and boring. I love how Saga can just fold these contradictions into each other.
It's rowdy and boring.
I don't like the rowdiness. It's
I
not
feel
my-
that
not my
deeply and
thing.
emotionally just as me. I'm Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah.
Yeah, those two go together for me. Saga, you head out. You've been staying at Nana's place,
Mhm.
so easy enough to skip out. I would love a perception check when you go outside.
Oh
Okay.
God!
I'll probably wave goodbye to all the chiefs since they're leaving pretty soon, right? This is one of
Yeah,
those,
they're
or is this just
leaving like tomorrow is the last day people are expected to stay.
I'll
And
make
then the
sure I
day
get
after
some
that,
waves.
everybody can bolt if they want to or stay a bit. It's up to them.
I'll flash the symbol at Alec since he should have his that I gifted to him.
Um,
Hopefully.
he does.
Hey.
Hey!
He smiles and sort of grabs onto the necklace.
It's a 17 on the perception.
You go outside because it, as stated, boring and rowdy, no longer fun. You make your way outside, terribly cold. Like you can start to see a bit of snow coming from the sky, just little wisps, nothing too crazy. And you take a look around, and most of the people here are drunk and probably don't feel the cold as easily, so they're all having a good time. You kind of bundle up on yourself and you start to make your way to Nana's house, and right out of the corner of your eye, you see at one of the makeshift little fire setups where some people have gathered about to have more, I guess, intimate conversations and drinks and parties and whatnot. But there is a lone figure at one of them, and after just a quick glance, you realize it's a Tomness.
Oh,
Huh.
okay. She gave me.
You don't have to
gave me
do
a
anything
symbol.
with that, but you see that a Tomness is he is not in the longhouse. He is not really part of what is going on, and that's a valid choice. But he is still in town.
I think I should talk to him. He has a lot going on, and he could probably use some guidance. I'm very wise. I will go
You
to
are
him.
very wise.
You approach a Tomness who is sitting there. He's sort of just looking into the fire and holding a drink, which he's sort of sipping slowly from. Tomness is an older man. You would guess, looking at him, he's in his 70s, you would think. Balding very much so on top, white hair sort of pushed back and away. A bit more heavy set gut in the front, and wearing very nice robes. And he's just sitting there quietly.
I'm gonna walk up, and as I walk up, I'm gonna dig around in my pockets, because absolutely my dress has pockets.
Oh, yeah.
Why wouldn't it? And I pull out the water symbol that he gave me, because I gave him my satyr symbol, and he gave me this water symbol. So I'll show that to him, and I say, I just want to say thanks again for giving me this, and I hope that you still have your lady satyr symbol and everything. It'll provide some guidance since you've had a lot of changes recently, if you need it.
He is startled a bit when you speak to him as you emerge from the shadows.
Just like this adorable, just young lady with a poof of hair just emerging from darkness.
Well, yes, and it's very quick all the time, because she probably just skips into existence and starts
Holy
a full
God.
sentence. There is no, like, hello, how are you? It's just the start of a conversation.
Roll insight for me, Saga.
Okay. Okay. Oh, I rolled a natural 1.
Yeah, no, you just got here.
Yeah. I was too busy looking in my pockets. I got a lot of stuff in there.
You were like, instantly, you jumped him, started talking right to the pockets. Nothing with him. While you're talking at him, very quickly, mile a minute, he nods and looks over to you. Thank you very kindly. And he smiles. I believe I have your keepsake. It is back at my tent.
Oh, it's a symbol, of course, for Lady Satyr, the goddess, right?
Yes. Yes,
Yes.
right.
Yes. Yes. Well, I just thought, she's given me a lot of guidance recently, and I've been able to allow her to help out some others as well. So, I just thought I should let you know about her and everything. You're some, uh, you have that, well, I probably shouldn't say anything about that.
About what?
Oh, I was just, you had an, I saw like,
Uh-huh.
are you friends with Eagle?
You watch this man, every muscle in his body tenses instantly with the mere mention of Egill. Acquaintances.
I'm friends with him. He's quite nice. If you get to know him, you know.
Right, well, you can tell him everything is just fine and it all went great. No reason to go any deeper. He stands
That's.
up.
Oh, are you going? Are you gonna go to sleep now? All right. Well, that's fine.
It's late.
Of course, of course. Well, are you still like? Is the thing somebody said you were your name was like Gothy? Is that your first name or is that a title?
Is that your birth name or that would still technically be my title, yes.
Oh, okay, okay.
I had the ranking of chief, but no longer. But I would
Right.
still be a Gothi. That is more of a religious title.
Oh, okay. Well, I just. All right, that's cool. It's good that you're still like staying active in your retirement. Well, it's nice to speak with you. I'll talk to you later. Good night.
Good night. He toddles off as fast as he can. Old bones, very cold. He's crying. But he wanders off by himself,
Okay.
trying to get away from you.
Yeah, can I make, I mean, I saw him tense up when I mentioned ego, but can I make any kind of, I don't know, I rolled that one. I don't know if I can try again with any kind of insights.
Sure, give me another insight.
Okay.
I mean, like, now that the conversation has happened, maybe you have more context than at the start.
Yeah. Okay. Well, it's not, it's a 13.
Okay. Was there something you wanted in particular?
Well, I want to know, I mean, I wanted to know originally if he was friends with Eagle, so mostly it's just when I mentioned him, he said, don't dig any deeper. And it's like, well, if you're friends with somebody, you should be cool with them talking to you. So is it maybe a not so friendship sort of friendship? Or maybe is there some blackmail going on? Since that's an interesting topic. I'm learning.
With your knowledge and going off of statements Eagle has made recently, 100%. You think that Eagle blackmailed this man.
They're blackmail friends.
And because you said you were friends with Egill, he thought that you could possibly, be involved. You don't exactly look like the type who goes to check in on somebody after something like that, but he doesn't know. You don't think they're friends. And you think acquaintance is a loose term. He seems to genuinely be afraid of Egill.
Understandable. But very interesting. Saga smiles and nods and watches him go. And then, we'll skip back home.
Yeah. You make your way back to Nana's place. People get shitty and go about their business. Eventually, Eagle leans over to Roshan. I'm bored and I hate this. He just kind of says softly as he turns and he smiles at somebody.
Roshan. I mean, Roshan's having fun.
I'm here having a good time.
But I suppose we can. If you feel comfortable with the impression you've made, we can leave.
Oh, you certainly don't have to leave if you're having a good time. I'm a people person, but this kind of shit.
Only for business.
I'm good in particular situations. It's this is new. I'm getting into it.
Well, is Hertha still here?
Hertha would you'd be able to catch her if she is somebody you were interested in speaking to, but she would be probably part of the earlier crowd that's leaving.
He actually wanted to stop by her house on the way back to Egill's.
Is this a detour with me, or are we splitting up?
You're welcome to come. I just need to send a bit of mail.
Sure. I shall walk you. Yeah.
So Roshan will head over there. Is she at home?
Yeah, you can see that there's some candlelight inside. You go and you go to knock on the door, and you hear a soft voice in your head. You made a promise for me that I would not enter this building. Could you ask if I could come in?
Well, this is awkward. Fine. And Roshan will knock.
Hertha answers the door. You guys seem to always catch her either mid doing her hair or undoing her hair, so it's just like part of it's out. Hello, Roshan.
Egill. Hi. I just wanted to check in on you and my mother, and perhaps send a letter to Dagwood.
Sure, go ahead.
I've also been informed by the entity we spoke of that I should ask if it can come in as well.
She sort of narrows her eyes.
Is being polite for some dark, creepy shadow thing.
So you can have, like, full conversations with it.
Sometimes it also just disappears.
It's not allowed to touch anything. And Hertha turns around and goes back to the chair she was sitting on and starts undoing her hair.
And then Roshan, he never saw the shadow, right?
Yeah, you just heard it.
He'll say, "You heard that, right? You're not allowed to touch anything."
I shall keep my hands to myself. And you just feel just a slight breeze sort of move past you. And you don't see anything. You just know the shadow has entered Hertha's house.
Okay. Well, I don't like it being here, so I will, give my mom a hug and kiss and get her to bed, and then send a quick letter to Dagwood saying, I've figured out what it wants. There's a piece of it in the east, and it knows, or it thinks my sister will be there as well. And then I'll put that in the slot.
Okay. You go to put in the slot, and you see there's already a letter in there.
Oh, well, I guess I'll take that one out first.
You're like, here we go. You take a look at it, and you see it is, you can only assume not a conversation that was directed at you. It says, that's very true, Hertha. I agree, he is like
And then
that.
I'll close it after that's very true, Hertha, and hand that to her.
Whoop.
Hertha takes it.
That one's yours.
And then replace my letter in there.
And you put your letter in. Your mom was basically getting ready for bed when you arrived, so she was just sort of basically getting into bed, and you're able to say goodnight to her. But she was a little delirious, a bit out of it. You don't hear or see Erling, so you assume he's in bed.
Mm-hmm.
And you send off your letter. Egill has stayed near the front door, talking small pleasantries with Hertha.
Well, when he's done, he'll look to Egill and Hertha and say, thank you. I'll stop in again tomorrow.
Hertha sort of nods and sort of like gestures a hand at you as she continues to finish her hair. Egill opens the door for you and motions you out, gives a bow to Hertha and closes it behind you. So is the entity, as we're referring to it as. Does it just casually follow us around?
In a sense, yes. Sometimes I can see it on the fringes of my vision. Sometimes I feel it following me, like there's somebody else in the room. But a lot of the time it doesn't feel like anything at all.
Hopefully it continues to be so incredibly polite. Honestly, I have a pretty good opinion of deals with otherworldly entities. They've gone pretty, well in my favor. So,
So what deals do you have with an otherworldly entity?
Well, he smiles. Technically is not my deal. And he glances around, and you'd see him shake his head to himself. He always questions the amount he tells you. You can see he's just we're already talking.
You
about
scamp.
And then he pushes that away. Technically, I am the deal.
Who made it? Was it of your parents' thing?
On the island, I'm not going to say it's popular, I'm just going to say it's well known. Usually you can ask the abyss, the hole, and sometimes hell has been known to help in fertility situations. But it's a 50-50 shot on what you're going to get. And he smiles.
I see. It's not entirely dissimilar to what I've been able to work out about my own upbringing on the coast.
Look at you. He smiles. Yeah. It's also kind of lucky, if you saw my parents, there's no way in hell you're going to be able to, those are Egill's parents. We should murder them, So that's sort of in my favor. And he talks casually as you both walk back to island life. Hearing some story about how Egill possibly came into existence. Anything else from anybody before the night she come, the day she also is she show up. She's here too.
Hooray. I think before Nana turned in, she'd kind of check in on anybody who is still at the party, she'd probably stay at least as long as Valder did.
Oh yeah. Are you going to leave with Valder, or are you going to head back to your place?
Probably head back to my place.
That's fine. He is now in charge of getting Selby back to the inn.
Nana
Selby
will
has a
kind of like
game-
wave Selby. Yeah, Selby's just like smashed, I only assume.
Oh yeah. No, Selby has been smashed probably every day he's been here.
That makes sense.
And they go that way. People drink.
Walk safely.
He gives a wave as best he can as he's trying to hold a man basically his size and weight. And people drink. There's merriment. And then people get very drunk, and some people go to sleep in their beds at their homes, in the inn. Some people fall asleep in the longhouse, at the tables in the inn. And the next day comes. I would love to know if there's anything in particular people wanted to do. It's a casual day. Yes, Nana.
I just want to know, when Nana was in the library the other day with Tordricht, did she happen to catch sight of any tomes, scrolls, anything pertaining to, like, Gulveig and the origins of the town?
So I'll go ahead and say that is 98% of what's in there. That is the library. It is very Gulveig centric, very Galunder centric. You are welcome to roll. This is just going to be like a. I don't know what I want. I just want to say library use, like I'm playing Call of Cthulhu, because I just think it's so easy. I'm just like, yeah, let's
right.
talk about the library.
Yeah, obviously.
Go ahead and roll investigation for me.
All right.
This isn't too much about big brain. Where could the Gulveig stuff be? It's all.
That is an 18 investigation.
Is there something in particular you were looking for? Because you know the origins to an extent. It's not a secret. This place started out as a temple to Gulveig and then grew around it. This is a place founded for Gulveig, and it continues to be a place for Gulveig. That is what it is.
I suppose really what she's sort of trying to find is, like, whether or not there's something she can find in the materials documented in the town that she can connect to what she heard in the Seeres's vision. Any kind of corroboration of anything like what Ave seemed to describe, some kind of similar relationship between Gulveig and a mortal, or like any other strong representatives of the goddess who had similar tasks asked of them.
You go in already with the information that Ave is the first and last of his kind.
Yeah.
He is the only one touched by Gulveig, and you look around to see if, maybe that's not the case.
Yeah. Or whether or not maybe there was like a priest or a priestess who was particularly like attuned.
Basically, I hate to do this to you, but any priest or priestess who says they worship Gulveig is going to say they have a deep connection to Gulveig.
Well, no, yeah, of course.
It's just none can compare to what Ave had. That just is what it is. You try to see if there's anything that veers off from what you know, and nothing seems to contradict it.
I guess then, like, the only other thing she'd want to see is, like, kind of, like, re-examine what she knows by looking through the documents of the town and, like, trying to reassess how much is the theme of suffering tied into the worship of Gulveg.
Go ahead and roll religion.
Obviously, like, she is famous for being speared 3 times and burned 3 times. That's a lot of suffering, in fairness. But... Ooh! That's a 19 religion check, baby.
Okay. So, I'm going to go off things you know and things you may then clarify in books real fast.
Yeah.
From what you have seen from Ave, you have never seen him do something in his worship that you would contest as suffering. You have never seen him do anything like that or talk about doing anything like that, and you have not seen that from the Gothi or any of the other elders in town. That is not something that they do. Like, nobody burns themselves at these events to feel with Golveg. Nobody.
Yeah, never seen that. I feel like I'd remember that.
Yeah, that is not something that takes place. The thing with Golveg is, yes, she became who she was through suffering, through the amount she went through, and her eventual, I don't want to say death. It was through her, I suppose, inability to die, she was able to, through this suffering, find a higher status for herself. That is when she became Golveg in her full power, is after the stabbings and the burnings. That is when she became who she was. The big thing about that story is that it's a bit more about persecution than they really add to, like, the party stuff, you know? That this was done by other gods, that it's not like she actively sought this. This was done to her, but it just ended in her favor.
All right. Interesting. Okay. All right. Well, so long as Nanna is... Well, nah. I haven't got anything specific lined up aside from that.
Yeah. Easy enough for people to just go about their day normally. If there's anything, like, particular people wanted to do, and then I have a couple things I'm going to get to people about. But if anybody else, Roshan, if you have something, I say hold on it for a minute.
Ben would like to spend a little time meditating, communing with nature, maybe working with his bird at Saga's Lady Satyr mural.
Yep.
Just listening to the sounds of nature, and if Saga comes along, then he'll interact with her, but if not, then just working with Jenny and just taking it all in.
When I talk about island life again, if I don't come back to you when I bring it up, tell me to come back to you.
Okay.
Thank you. I don't trust my very smooth brain. Anybody else?
Saga's probably, I think I mentioned this last time. She wanted to, hearing the Nanna and Tordrick go to the library the other day. She was like, oh, maybe I could do that the next day. So she wanted to run down there and look into anything that has to do with Lady Satyr, possibly, or people having prophecies or something like that. But I don't know how useful that'll be, but she's never checked in the library before, so...
Yeah. You, for the first time, are like, let's figure out libraries.
Yeah.
Let's do some research!
Yeah.
I would love an investigation. You're looking for a very kind of particular topic.
Okay.
Can Nanna assist her if she's still in the library?
Well, wasn't
went
she there
the day
yesterday?
before.
Yeah, she was
You
there
went the
other
day before.
Oh.
Yeah. This is the second day. Basically,
Yeah.
you guys came back and Saga was like, "Oh, there's a library."
Yeah. So you have
Yeah.
already libraried.
Ah. Well, I
Yeah,
don't know
but-
if Saga wants to drag Nana along then, since they're in the same house, but that's up to her.
It's okay. It's okay.
Yeah. She cooks
she'll-
breakfast
she-
and disappears.
Yeah. Before she goes in, she'll be like, "All right, Lady Satyr, I'm just gonna try to get better at this, for you," and she's gonna give herself guidance before she walks in. Um, and
Okay.
roll with guidance on this one. Oh, that's terrible, but that's
Hmm.
okay. Investigation. Okay, good. 16.
Okay. Your numbers always come up really nice whenever you say like, oh, that's not good. 16.
Well, I rolled a 1 on the guidance, so
Oh, okay.
sad.
That makes more sense. I was just like,
Yeah.
16 is not terrible.
No, I was just mad at my guidance was not very
Yeah.
guiding.
When you come to check out the library, by golly, you don't know what's going on, but you're gonna try. And you walk around and you're like, ooh, this looks like it has God stuff in it. And you open it, it's Golvig. And you're like, okay. And you put that back. It's Golvig. You put it back and you're just making your way down the line like Golvig. It is the main focus of this library.
Yes.
And you realize that you can't find anything that like mentions prophecies with Golvig. Like that is not something that seems to be spoken of in any of the things you glance at, looking like P for prophecy and like flip through a book. That doesn't seem to be something that she does or is documented doing. You find nothing about Lady Satyr.
Okay. This is kind of just talking about like but Saga doesn't know what Nana was looking up, but basically the stuff about Nana had told her that, oh well, if you the seer suffers to get better stuff, so then you should also. So then she's like, is there stuff about that? But then there was nothing but prophecy, so she probably didn't find anything about that either.
Yeah, nothing about suffering except like Golvig suffered terribly, but that's just the story of it.
Yeah, probably just slams that book down after reading that for like the third time. And then she's like, all right, this is boring. And then puts all the
Can
books
somebody
back.
like jazz up the story a bit, or what's up?
Yeah.
Yeah, can somebody work on the story?
And then she'll probably just, being bored and having nothing better to do, go down to Island Life and probably chill there. Probably see Fen, see everyone else who's there as well.
Antagonize Egill.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, if Eagle's there, might want to talk to him about autonomous, but I don't know if he's hanging out there.
So you're at the library for a while. Okay. Gorbjorn, anything in particular?
So this is the last day people are going to be in town, right?
Yeah.
Oh,
I should probably pick some pockets while they're even here.
probably, yeah.
Yeah, you should. If it is somebody from out of town, you have advantage on your sleight of hand.
Yeah, because everybody in town has seen you rolling around at the speed of sound.
Natural 20.
Tell me about your target.
You beautiful bastard.
I've been wanting to pick this guy for so long. So it's the guy with glasses that works under Frey Room. I like get him when he like goes to the bathroom. And
You've been stalking your mark.
exactly.
Let's see, what does this nerd have on him? I know what this nerd has on him. I'm going to give you a choice with this nat 20. Either, just I'm gonna let him roll. What is your final?
Oh, my final?
Yeah, what's the final number?
23.
Okay, I don't know if he can physically make that, but he's gonna do his best. Okay, so you have a choice. You see that he has a bag of coin. You also see that he has a like tiny notebook.
Who do you think I am?
Yeah, I just thought I'd give you the opportunity. Don't be fair.
It's like coin. Yeah.
Come on.
You're like, oh, that's the outline of a book, but books are for nerds. Yoink. And you take the
You made a map, nerd.
I
Not
would
the
love
same.
you to roll like percentile if you'd be so kind.
Okay. And can I, for flavor, like
Yes.
I come up behind him and like put his shirt over his head like some jock would, and then I steal his gold.
Oh my
Who did that to me?
Perfect. 10 out of 10. Thank you.
That's a 20 for you.
Okay, percentile. I got a 16.
Okay. Go ahead and do one more time for me.
Got you. I pick new ones. Ooh, I got a matching set right here. I believe that is 30.
Okay. I'm doing math. 46 gold, my dude. Take it or leave it.
Hot
Thank you.
damn.
Taking 46 gold.
Yeah. Truce. What truce? Get wrecked, nerd.
You magnificent bastard.
You're like, he wasn't included in the truce. This guy can get.
He wasn't there in the tent. Fuck.
Yeah, if you're not in the tent, fair game. But he doesn't
count.
catch you at all. You are able to
Run
do
off
all of
into the
this
forest a bit.
very secretly.
Just whoop, 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 whoop.
And disappear with like, it seems like he was like in the middle of probably going to like either buy something because it's a large amount of coin for him to have on his person. So he ruined his shopping trip. But now you can have all the shopping trips your heart desires. So you roll out. Much more coin in tow. Anything else?
No. I'm
Okay.
very content.
Yeah. When you swing, as you kind of like you're making your way around and you're like, if there are any other good marks, this is pretty good, but if anybody looks interesting, you make your way around. You get back to the inn and outside is Selby and Agnet. And Selby is currently like leaning over her. She's like sitting on a box and he's like using a small blade to like cut the ends of her hair. It is just like trimming it up. And you just see they just speak softly and tenderly to each other. Like they talk very close, they whisper, you see her smile a little bit, but he's just trimming her hair. Would you like to join in on the festivities?
Goodness. Like, he's, yeah, okay. I'll stop by.
You don't have to. It's just they're outside having a good time. Good time's relative. Yeah, and you can hang out with them for a bit, just to put you somewhere fun. Portrait, anything in particular?
Well, after the discussions with the adversaries that we were concerned were attempting, in fact, they said they wished us dead. Tordrick's at this point under the assumption that there's nothing to fear. And he wakes up in the morning and realizes that since everything was smoothed over, he needs to go out just over the city limits and go to the stream where there's fresh water so that he can pray.
Okay. I will remind you of one thing, and you're welcome to still do this. I just want to make sure you have all the details. So you are fine with the Freyroon department. The happy married couple thing is still up in the air, but Egill said he took care of the people in the area. So there is a likelihood it is a safe trek. I just want to make sure you have all the details. So you're welcome to go. I just want you to know for certain.
Well,
the climate.
Do you need a buddy?
Tordrick believes that no matter just being outside the inn where there's a lot of people, just in case something happens, is dangerous the way things have went. But it's been quite a few days since he's been out there.
Yeah. I will say if you're walking out of the inn, that's where you see Gorbjorn hanging out.
Tordrick would definitely run up to Gorbjorn, and Gorbjorn, hey, what are you doing today? With a big smile on his face.
I am free if you need me.
Want to take a walk? I need to go out to the water. It should be safe, right?
I feel safest around you, Tordrick.
Oh, I feel safe around you too.
You hear Selby under his breath. Aw. As he continues to cut hair. Just a soft aw.
That's so cute.
I need to pray. And not a lot of water around here that's connected. Would you go with me?
Of course.
Maybe some of the others like to take a walk.
I mean, you're welcome to try and go find everybody. Everybody is scattered at the moment, but if you wanted to take a look around, that's up to you.
All right, meet back here in 5.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Okay.
And Tordrick goes skipping off, singing a Dwarven walking song because he's getting ready to put his walk on.
Okay. You two scatter to see if you can find anybody in the area, knowing some of the hangouts where people are. Lucky for y'all, a lot of people go to the same place, so it sort of works out. Veering back to island life. Fen, I'd love you to roll me a perception check.
Okay. 18.
Okay. Saga, I'd like you to first roll me a luck check.
Uh, 6.
Okay, you will not be there when this happens.
Okay.
Your library time stops you from being part of it.
Boring.
Fen, mostly caught up in either whittling or working with Jenny, whatever you happen to be doing in the moment. You watch a man approach, walking as quickly as he can casually. The vibe you get off of him is he seems like he could be one of Egill's guys. And you see he is holding a like rolled up scroll sort of letter sort of situation in his hand and is making a beeline for island life.
Okay.
And just goes quickly as he can through the doors and makes his way inside. So you just catch sight of that guy.
Okay. I'll be on heightened alert if I can overhear anything, but I'm not going to follow the guy in. That was interesting. That was.
Mm-hmm. And after a moment, he comes back up and he quickly leaves, no letter in tow.
What did these could have been one of Egill's men. I don't recognize him though.
Yeah, Egill has a lot of dudes in town.
Okay.
But he has the vibe of somebody who probably works for Egill.
I mean, is this someone that Fen would have chosen to recognize because he was behaving in a strange way? Like, make mental note of, yeah, it was the tall guy with the purple shirt, or whatever.
Yes, they're tall man, purple shirt, dark hair.
Okay.
Letter, no longer letter. So you can make note of him visually in your mind.
Okay, that's what I'd like to do.
Yeah, so you just take note. He goes on his way. Roshan, you're very much now used to still waking up sort of late, and nobody really wakes you up.
He probably doesn't wake up till at least 11 still.
Yeah. And you wake up. You are alone in like the second room, the bedroom area. So there's that room, and then there's the office area, and then it goes into the downstairs area. When you get up and walk into the office, you can see that everything on the desk is now on the floor except for one letter. And Egill is sitting at the desk, and he is just fully like face in his hands. Like it looks like he's trying to do like deep calming breaths, but this is what you walk in on.
Uh-oh.
He will. I don't have any good magic for this, so he'll just put a hand on his back and say, "Is everything all right?"
He takes a moment, and he takes a long breath, and he straightens up. We got our letter.
From the Happy Married
Who
couple?
it's from?
And that's where we're going to take our break. Boop, ba-doop, ba-doop, boop, boop. And we are going to take a 10-minute break. Now we're going to jump back into things. So go get yourselves some water, stay hydrated, get a snack, do what you got to do. We will be back in 10 to talk about this letter. See you guys in 10 minutes.
Thank you.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Dice Cult for episode 56 of On the Backs of Gods. Where we left off, everything was pretty casual. Today is a very nice casual day for the party. Everything has become very chill and nice, except Egill, who seems pretty upset about a letter on his desk. But besides that, everybody else seems to be pretty cool.
But, on the plus side, that's the only thing on his desk now.
That's true. Organization is putting everything else on the floor. And he
Very simple system.
He straightens up, and you can just like his lips are pulled thin, just like you've never seen him this bothered. Like you've seen him angry, like when Saga mentioned Sarich. This is a similar energy, but more internalized. And he takes another breath. And he pushes the letter across to you.
Roshan will pick it up and read it.
Dear Interim Chief Egill, thank you for your correspondence. After some review, your request has been approved. The current bounty being pursued shall be dismissed and only reconsidered if pay for said job is doubled. If this occurs, you will receive notification. On a different note, you are cordially invited to join us for dinner.
Fuck!
We must insist upon your company at the earliest convenience which works for your new busy schedule. To opportunity, HMC.
Cheers.
So it sounds like we've got a dinner party.
He kind of scoffs a little bit. No, we. I have a dinner party.
I understand wanting to keep me out of your work, but we are also planning on heading in that direction. It sounds like you have to go east as well.
I do. It seems they are being very lenient on time, and the thing is, I cannot leave yet. I am going to need to remain here for, God, at least a couple more fucking weeks. But you and your compatriots will not be joining me for this event. There's only 2 reasons you get invited to the Happy Married Couple's house. Either they're going to kill you, which I highly doubt is going to happen for me personally, or they're going to ask you a favor. And they seem to already know about my new status, so I can only assume a favor will be asked.
It's actually something I've been meaning to ask about. You owe this favor because of us, so if there's any way that I can help you repay it.
I appreciate the sentiment, Roshan. You can't give them what I can give them.
But perhaps what I can give them is warranted. I'm not asking you to give me over in your stead, but we're in this debacle because of us. And You've gone out way out of your way to help us. So if we can, let me repay the favor.
No. And that's the end of it.
Fine.
Maybe we'll meet up. If our paths cross, maybe we can say hello to each other in the East, but you will not be participating in this event.
How are you getting there?
That's up in the air.
Is your fancy circle back in Olafsveller? No. Yes?
Yes.
Yes.
I do not have one here. I feel
Would
like
that
you
take
all
you
would
over
ask
there?
to abuse it, honestly. Also, they're expensive as shit. So either I will be trying to transport somewhere quickly and closer. I do not have one that goes directly to their fucking town. I'm not telling you where they are. But I may just take a long cart ride.
Well, don't stew in it for longer than you have to.
Yeah. Well, gotta do interim chief shit first. But they insist upon my company. Insist upon it. Great.
Well, if there's anything I can do, let me know.
Of course.
Back rubs.
Do you mind if I have some time?
Of course. Roshan had probably started picking things up off the ground, but then leaves a stack of mismatched papers in a nice pile on the desk.
Just over to one side.
Like, here
You can get that later.
And then before he leaves, he'll come back in and give him a nice hug, because he feels like he needs one right now.
All right. You go over and hug him. There's one thing I'd like you to do. I'm just going to tell you ahead of time, this is going to be a very high DC.
Okay.
I'd like you to roll an intelligence check, please.
15.
Okay. Yeah, nothing stands out to you. There is the fact that you do notice that it is addressed to interim chief Egill, that they're already aware of that. But that's the only thing that sort of stands out to you.
All right. And then he'll probably go check in at Hertha's on his mom and Mail and Erling.
Yeah, you get upstairs, you see Fen sitting at the bench and Saga is on the approach. So you three have triangulated.
I will tell them that it sounds like we are in the clear. Should you need to travel outside the boundaries of town, other than random criminals, the organized threat on our lives is ended.
Yeah, regular criminals still
Hooray!
exist.
Orc bandits, the occasional, gnoll.
Yeah. Monsters and bandits still exist, but nobody is actively, to the best of your knowledge, looking for you. And Saga, there is that moment where it's like, I could go to my temple right now.
Yes.
It's just, that hits you instantly. And at that point, while you're telling that story, as I gather everyone, Tordrek is hustling, bustling into this direction on his trek to go gather friends. And now Tordrek is triangulated into the position.
Tordrek, guess what?
What?
They're not gonna kill us anymore. We can go out. We can go to the temple and it'll be fine.
Oh, great. We're going out there already anyway, so let's go. This is going to be great. I haven't been out to the water, and I don't think you've seen what I did. So I
No.
want to show you.
Yes, definitely. Let's go. Oh, I'm so excited. Okay. I'm gonna go.
Okay. So are you guys are going to the river? Doesn't mean you can't go to your temple later today if you want to.
Oh, I might. Yes, yes.
Is the temple on the way to the water?
It's further.
So the temple's further away, but you guys can make a couple. You could do the gambit.
Okay.
Tordrick shows up. Who's going on this grand religious adventure? You guys will eventually circle back and get Gorbjorn.
Okay.
But at the meeting place that you guys were like, meet me there in 10. So Gorbjorn's in. Anybody else going, or you got things to do in town?
Yeah, Fen will go.
If Nana is approached, she'll definitely go.
I'll allow everybody.
She
to be
promised
in the
she
general.
would.
Yeah, Gorbjorn finds you and gives you. He's like, I found one. I did it. I don't know
We're
where you-
leaving. Let's go.
What? Where are we going?
I don't know.
Where are we going?
You just
We
follow
might get
him.
killed. What happened with the plan of staying in the town until
Eventually,
people weren't going to
everybody
kill
is
us?
updated,
Well,
and now
yeah.
knows that Eagle's in deep shit, but you guys are all in the clear.
Hooray!
Does he
This
mention the
worked out
Eagles and
nicely.
deep shit part?
Do you mention that, Roshan?
No.
Just kidding. Everything's in the clear.
I think we're just everything's clear. Everything's
Can I
good.
press X to doubt?
Go ahead and roll insight, Nana, and then
Against
I'll ask.
Roshan?
I'll ask Roshan a question.
I would, but Saga's way too excited. She
Yeah.
ain't. No,
I'm just.
we're going.
15.
So either Roshan, you can say what Nana sees on a 15, or you can contest it.
I think he doesn't feel nervous about leaving town, but he is maybe a little quieter than usual.
Okay. Nana's just gonna. All right. That's excellent news. I'm very glad to hear that that's all been resolved and everything is hunky-dory.
I think it's great that we should all go together.
Wow.
Just,
Wow.
just in case.
Maybe we all stick together.
I do believe that's probably for the best. Honestly, we've had some very weird instances in the last couple of weeks. Probably wisest for us all to stick as a party until we're certain everything's blown over and everybody's gotten the message that we're
Saga's
not
skipping
supposed
away.
to be killed.
She's gone.
Oh, God. Saga, wait!
It seems you guys are going to go check out the stream first. Tordrick, you lead the way. Saga, you've been before, so you already know where you're heading.
Have any of the rest of us been to either of these places yet?
Ben has been to the shrine.
Ben's been to the temple.
Some of you were there because we had our little. Oh, maybe not.
No, we
That
went
was-
into a tree instead because we were worried about
Only
getting
Saga
killed.
was with you for the stream, I think.
A few of
Yep.
us. We had
Um,
been with us.
yeah, you, Tordrick, you lead your friends to the stream. What do they see, and what would you like to do?
Saga, did you go with us, or did you go straight to the temple? Your temple.
Oh no, Saga wants to come with everybody.
Yay.
So when you get to the area, it looks like there's like a where the water in the stream is. There's like a ditch that's been dug down into like a lower area that's just naturally sunken in, and he asked Saga if she can move that piece of earth. Saga, can you move that like I've seen you do with your magics? Can you move a piece of rock right there? That land, can you move it with your magics?
Oh yes, absolutely. Where?
Just move right there where there's just that big clump.
Okay. She'll walk up there, and think yeah, no, probably just some mold earth then. Nothing too crazy, right?
Yeah.
Needs to be done for this.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
go ahead and roll for your wild magic.
Oh, mold earth is a
cantrip.
Oh, cantrip.
Cantrip.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's a.
I was like,
Can't
oh my.
trip her up on that one.
Like, what have I done?
But
Oh, hey, Dad.
Got him.
Nope. Good. Nope. Love it.
yeah. Tordrick, she does as you ask, and is this sort of the describe what I'm looking at?
So when Saga moves that piece of earth away, you just see where there's just this little decline in the where this ditch has been built. You can see that just a little trickle of water is starting to come down and make go down into this area that's sunken in, where like it's going to create like a little pool. That's away from the stream area, so it's kind of like open where people following the path can see it. And then he goes, "Hey, watch this, Saga! I learned something too." And he starts calling on the Nine Sisters to give him the power to do this miracle. And he actually just takes the water. He literally takes the water from the stream and moves it so that it goes in the direction in that hole that you just that Saga created, or that U shape that fit into that little thing he dug, and all of a sudden there's like this little stream of water going down and creating a pool.
Oh.
And it just makes this nice area where anyone can sit and be together with others and just hear the sound of moving water and not have there be any like dangerous sides of the creek or what have you. This is out in the open where everybody can enjoy it. And he thanks everybody. Thank you, everyone. Oh, this is such a I don't even know what to say. This is somewhere everybody can feel safe and pray to their gods and goddesses. And well, I want to pray for all of us, if you don't mind.
Please do, Tordrick. This has been a long time coming. Your patience has paid off.
Can I join you?
Of course.
Whoever wants to pray can roll religion for me.
Nana will join. It's habit at this point.
So he Tordrick tries to get those who want to do it, and everybody hold hands around the water as it's filling up in that nice little indent area. And then his prayer is very simple. It's just that I hope that everyone can feel as grateful as I do for the friendships that I've made. We have been able to conquer great evils and help others because of our strengths together. I just hope we all can be grateful for that. I'm so grateful to have you all be my friends.
Thank you, Tordrick.
Me
Truly
too, me
grateful
too.
for you.
Yes. Oh wow! Oh wow!
I think someone was assaulted.
Oh no! Was there a cat?
Assaulted post prayer.
Oh.
There was
yeah,
just a squirrel that ran up and gouged Gorbjorn's shoulder.
Oh my god.
Roll initiative.
Oh no.
Jeez.
People who prayed. What do we got?
Got a 4.
14.
10.
14.
Okay. This prayer session kind of comes down to just how things make you feel in general. It's not like yes, she is there and she is speaking to me. It's there is something nice about sitting quietly next to this little body of water and praying. There's something calming and nice about that for a lot of people. And as you sit there, last night was very cold and there was some snow and a little bit of ice, and you can hear like, as the water now diverts down this new path, you can hear like the little crack of some of like the thin layers of ice that have like formed on the edges of the stream. It wasn't enough to freeze the stream by any stretch of the imagination. And it's a sunny day, so you just hear the little like the quiet snapping sound of ice around you and the gentle trickle of water and just the sounds of nature. You're a bit away from town. It's very nice. And you all just, some of you take a moment to deeply appreciate that. And after a long moment, you guys are welcome to stay, or you're welcome to basically get ready for the trek that would be to go to the temple, if that is the next step for you guys.
Jillian, I kind of described to you off screen or in chat what I was carving with the woodworking tools. About how far along am I in that?
You're not done.
Okay. All right. That's all.
We're not done yet.
Okay.
If you want it to be real nice, a little longer.
Oh no, I want it to be real nice.
Want it to be real nice. Yeah. So not yet.
I think Saga just wants to hang a few, like 2 or 3 Lady Satyr symbols on some trees, kind of like around here, leading up to it. Hopefully they can get some nice frost and look very pretty. And then Tordrick, I'm gonna try to carve some of the 9 sisters out of some rocks, I think, later. So we can add those maybe, if that's okay.
Yes, that would be excellent.
Okay, cool. I have the one that you gave me. Yes.
Sorry to interrupt, but while you're hanging those up, I would love just a casual perception check, please.
Okay, omnipotent voice.
I would say people who weren't praying could also give perception checks, but everybody else was sort of doing another thing at this time.
Awesome, because I got a 19.
Very nice.
Thank God for you.
Well, I got a 23.
Thank God for the both of you, I guess.
I got 8.
Oh,
That's okay, Roshan.
got
You
a
were up
rock.
late last
You be
night.
pretty and sit there.
Just look cute, okay? Know who you are.
Own it, girl.
You're right.
Comfortable,
Bed
Sean,
there
enjoyable.
and look pretty. He knows what he's good at.
Getting
Roshan sort of is probably in his own head a bit, thinking about the conversation earlier. And it's sort of like Saga being like, I need to hang these up. Gorbjorn, your arms, they're so long. And so he is able to reach like a branch you aren't able to reach. And both of you are sort of like, you did a little jaunt over to a tree, then a little jaunt over to another tree, and then go over to a third tree. And you see something, it's kind of weird because it's like what you're doing. Except it's not made of stone as the Lady Satyr symbols are. You see a bundle of like twigs sort of bent into a shape and hanging by a piece of twine off of a branch nearby.
can I look around? Are there any more, or is it like it's just attached to a branch?
Yeah, you and Gorbjorn see that. So Gorbjorn sees that one, and Saga, you think, are there more?
Yeah.
You see like 10 more in your general vicinity.
I wanna.
Uh-huh.
I mean,
Mm-hmm.
I guess unless I see anything super dangerous, I'm probably just gonna go up and like poke one or like give it a little like
Yeah.
look.
So this is just a moment between Gorbjorn and Saga where Gorbjorn's like, I see a thing. And Saga's like, I see a thing. I see a lot of things.
Wow.
Saga, you skip over to the closest one. And yeah, it is a bunch of dried young sort of branches, very malleable. A lot of twine tying them into this very specific position, and they just sway gently in the breeze. They're a bit bigger than your lady satyr symbols.
Oh,
Probably like the size of a forearm.
Before she touches anything, can I just get my wolf eyes going? Like,
Please?
You watch as she goes and she's touching something.
No Blair Witch shit, please!
what? Okay, you said it's a very specific shape. Is it a rune that we recognize?
I will show you the very specific shape
Oh.
as you approach it. Gorbjorn, you activate wolf eyes. You don't see anything.
well,
Nothing
that makes me
lights
feel
up.
better.
Oh, they put some work into that one.
Yeah.
Ooh.
This is the symbol you see. And it's probably like in the center, bent in on itself a little bit to keep them close together in multiple spots. But this is our symbol. And you just see multiples of those hanging around the wood.
Hey, Gorbin, do you know what the god person maybe that is? Oh,
We better go
Oh.
ask the praying people.
What? Wait. What is the check?
What
Both
is
of
the
you
check?
can make religion or history checks.
Well, both are bad.
Yeah, exactly.
Good, good.
5.
15 of all things.
Whoa.
Yeah, -1.
I mean, you must still have a little bit of the dregs of that wrinkle brain potion coursing through your veins there.
Oh,
No
something.
more wrinkle brain unless we go steal some more. But Gorbjorn, you take a look at it and you squint. This is gonna be real dumb because this is just the best I can give you from Gorbjorn's knowledge of things, which is
Fair.
And it may be just very apparent, but you see that it's 2 runes, and you look at it and you're like, one of them's flipped upside down, and I know that means like the opposite or the maybe not as good version or something, and just it is the same rune, one flipped over.
Gotcha.
You just don't know what it is though.
It's the opposite of whatever.
So
I
like
would
tarot,
don't
reverse
know
tarot.
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'll just keep putting it on screen.
But I don't know what it is. so-
Yeah, you don't know what it is. You just know it's the same rune flipped on its head on one side.
Gotcha.
So yeah, both of you are looking at that. Easy enough for everybody to eventually just see that
Did I give it a poke?
Gorbjorn and Saga are looking at stuff.
Oh yeah, by all means.
Yeah. Saga, you go ahead and give it a poke. It's some branches.
Okay.
Is twigs.
I guess I shouldn't take those down. That would be rude, but I kind of want to look at it more. Hey, guys. Hey, guys, I have an idea. Hey,
What? What's up?
Yes, Saga.
there's these broomsticks all over the place that are flipped around different directions, and I want to follow them. Because I put them up
Broomsticks.
and they lead to a temple. So my satyr symbols lead to this temple. So maybe if we follow them, there'll be another temple.
What? Wait. Where is this? Show me what you're talking about.
Show me what you got.
Show me what you got!
All of you are shown this this bunch of twigs.
Can I apply my smooth brain to that there twig bundle?
Sure, history or religion.
I mean, one's as good as the other. I guess I'll lean more on history, just on the idea of, like, is this maybe like a ranger symbol, possibly, that Nana knows about, or something that
Ave taught you.
maybe, I don't know. I got a 16.
So I have to do everything based on the particular person for this. Nana, you sort of pick up on the same vibe that Gorbjorn did about like, okay, the rune it do flip. You think
Nana's just kind of like looking at it upside down on
like,
occasion.
yeah, that's the same thing. Yeah. when you think of it in the sense of, is this a ranger mark? You think it could be. Like, it seems naturally inclined to you. Especially because it's made out of just natural materials. It's not even made out of like the rock that Saga uses.
Yeah.
It seems like it's something that could be made by a ranger. Yeah.
This is
You just have
interesting.
never seen it before.
Fen, any of the rangers of Briarheart make
Gather
anything like
around.
these?
Hey, everybody.
Everybody!
Everybody line up.
Saga's
Your
starting to
turn?
get antsy. She wants to follow them.
Those
Of
are
course she does.
those are common runes. They might be old, but they're not elvish.
No, I was just wondering if perhaps maybe the symbol specifically might have been something kin to your people, but it
Is
looks
it
very much like a ranger mark, wouldn't you say?
Is it something I would recognize in Elvish, Sylvan, or even Thieves' Cant?
Or just ranger.
I will take it from the perspective of like, is it Ranger, Elven, Sylvan, Thieves' Cant, that area. I will look at it at that for you. You're like, okay, they can't pinpoint it in the religious department, so you take a gander at it. You can agree with Nana that you're like, yeah, that seems like maybe what a ranger would do to mark something. Druids come to mind, but this isn't like a big area for druids. So maybe there was a traveling druid. You don't know, but it does not fit.
There were a lot of weird people coming through town, but
does not fit in with Elven, Sylvan, or Thieves' Cant.
Tordrick, everybody looking at this stuff will go away from looking at and just listening to the water, and see if he can pick out anything from what he's learned religiously.
True. Do I think this would have been in your books? For Golveg? A roll, religion or history. Actually, just roll religion with advantage.
ooh,
Actually,
get it, Tordrick.
what I wanted to tell you about Tordrick looking in the library, the thing he was primarily looking for that he has least knowledge of are runic magics. Because I mean, he's learned some of the minimal things about possession and spirits and such, possessing vessels that aren't theirs. But one of the things that came up was this, like the tattoos and stuff, and the ruins that were on people and such. And so he was looking for some of that type of information. So maybe he came across something here. I'll go ahead and roll again. The first roll was a 6, but with advantage, he will get another.
Come on.
And that is an 11.
As you stated earlier, you're not really a books man, but you've just started getting into it because that's how you learn. And you have been doing some research on runes. You vaguely can remember at least one of these rune shapes. If you took time later to go back through the books, you could possibly get more insight. But at this moment, you just can't pinpoint it. But you think this detail could be in a book you were looking at.
I'm sure I saw this at the library.
Really?
I think I drank
You're
too much.
certain?
Got it. Yeah, one of them books. Man, I'm sure I could find it. It would take me some time, but I know I saw it. I don't remember.
I might well be able to help you find the section later if you like, once we're finished with our business out and about.
I'm picturing Saga just moving backwards, like slowly, like just.
So it is a religious symbol. That means there might be a temple. So if we can look later after we find it.
So it seems Saga would like to make a detour to the temple first. The thing is, you guys will get home probably in the evening if you go to the temple. But you live in town and you know where the library is, so it's up to you guys if you guys want to go swing by the temple first.
Oh, Saga was saying that we could. Her idea was that if we follow the symbols, whichever direction that they go, thinking that there's a path, there might be a temple at that spot too. So it's double temple.
That's
So she
where
wanted
her
to-
brain
So
is going.
first-
That's what I thought too.
Yeah.
Double
Yeah.
That's what
temple
she
You're
wants.
all
welcome
the
to follow
way.
the symbols.
Yes.
Um,
If people, well, she's gonna go, but
yeah, Saga starts moving, following
Okie dokie.
sort of the vague path, Gorbjorn in tow, the rest of the party moving behind, following these symbols that kind of just sway gently on trees. And you get to a tree, and you can see painted on it, looks like it got worn off a bit over time, painted onto a tree that is at the end of this line. Once again, is this symbol, but taking up like the expanse of the trunk in like a person's arm range.
Is this tree glowing?
I'm gonna.
It is not.
Okay.
There's nothing magical afoot here.
Saga's gonna do like a loop around the tree and look around to see if there's any specific shrine she should stop at. But otherwise, if not, she's just gonna kind of kneel down for a bit and say like a little quick prayer to whatever god this is, probably. And
Dear
Okay.
new god.
Nice to meet
hey,
you.
what's up?
I'm collecting them, so hi, it's
There's a
me.
lot of god shit,
No.
so
it's more like, have you met my god? Want to be
Yeah.
friends with her?
it's
Ah,
networking.
yes, right.
Networking
Of
for her.
course.
Audric, we've climbed a tree together. Would you like to check this one out with me?
I'm praying. Okay, I'm
Saga
done.
like scoots over to the other side of the tree.
I can give you a boost.
Okay. And Tordrick just like starts gaining speed because he like literally ran and jumped up on the tree the last time. So that's the only way he knows how to do
Find
it.
your foothold before you jump.
Running.
I can get there. Just give him a boost, just to catch him as he's going.
Athletics or acrobatics from Tordrick. I'll give you advantage because you have a friend. Fen, I would like athletics.
Yeah, athletics.
Saga's gonna roll backwards away, so she's not in this.
Yeah, Saga's like, oh no.
Oh, it's just like, why am I not part of this?
19.
You should be part of this.
Yeah.
Too slow, it seems.
There's
It happened
this guy
so
who's
fast.
very.
What do you got, Tordrick?
19.
Oh, it is a beautiful maneuver, and you're able to get him up to the first branch. Anybody who wants to climb tree can climb tree. I'll tell you, to be very straightforward about it, you climbed a tree. You don't see anything extra from tree vantage point, but you climbed it. And that's
So
it's
this
really about the
person who
trees.
carved this big thing didn't go up further in the tree and
No.
carve more things.
They did not.
We don't see off in the distance another line of these symbols leading off somewhere else that we can
No.
only see from this vantage point.
You don't see anything else of note. It is just this small area.
There is no temple-looking things or anything like buried or anything like that.
No,
Not unless it is the tree.
yeah, Saga, you look around the tree base, there's nothing. It's just these symbols and then the symbol ending on this tree.
What
Then
kind of
after
tree is it?
It's a big one. Is big
A
tree
you?
probably like in the oak department. Like
Okay.
it's nothing fancy.
Roshan would like to scour the area to see if anyone has been here or any other things related to this.
Survival check.
Nana will help him with that.
15.
Advantage.
18.
You can confirm this was made by a humanoid with feet.
No hands.
Impossible!
Feet.
It's made
Um,
with their feet. That's insane.
Like
It's
they
all feet.
carved it
It's
with
only
their
feet.
feet. They folded these things with their feet and tied the twine with their toes.
Would this have been relatively recently or has it been here for a while?
I don't think you would have.
Okay.
You wouldn't have been able to notice if it was older. You think it's been within the last couple days.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I
it's
hug
pretty
the
recent.
tree.
Mm.
We're all loving this tree right now, so I'm just gonna hug it.
All of you
The
gather
carvings are quite
around
fresh.
this tree and have a beautiful moment with it. But from what you do after like scouring the area, nothing else stands out.
What does the Tordrick takes one of the symbols,
Mm-hmm.
grabs it, and takes it off the tree.
Oh.
Like, takes it off the limb, and he smells it.
So you can see, like, when you kind of take it into your hands, there is that sort of like sweet smell that comes from, when you take young saplings and sort of bend them in the insides. There's that scent. There's also the slight scent of like a bit of burning, like to get some coloration on them. So it is the slight smell of like slightly charred wood and the sweet smell of like the wee bits of sap that is there.
He'll pocket that one symbol. All he can do is investigate later.
I can put it in my bag if it's too big.
Yeah, either way, you guys are able to take one of them down and take it with you. Are you all heading forward to the temple now, or is there still more investigation to do? All right.
The temple.
You all
Temple's
make
good.
your way on a a pretty long trek. You all know you're getting home at night or you're camping at the temple. It's really the vibe. You all start making your way out. It is nice. This is your first time as a group outside of town in a while. The fresh air, the lack of people. Occasionally, like, you guys have made it to the road at this point, and there's the occasional cart that goes by, and people are going a bit slower because some of like the ice is stuck to a bit of the wetter spots on the side of the road in this places that are shadowed. So people are being cautious on their treks outwards, but it's a beautiful sunny day. It is just a nice day. And you all start your long, brisk trek towards the temple.
I sure hope we told somebody where we were going before we embarked on a whole day-long journey.
If possible, somewhere along the way, I'd like to find some time to walk alongside Saga.
Sure. That's definitely doable. She is present.
Okay. Saga, I got this the other day. I wanted to say thank you for introducing me to Lady Seda and all the time you've spent with me, and you helped make this armor that I'm wearing, and I was wanting to find some way to say thank you. So I looked around town, and this was the best I could find. But I wanted you to have this, and it's just a nice tailor's tools, needles, threads, as nice as I could find. I don't know how it compares to the stuff you already have, but hopefully it means something.
Thank you. I have a set of these that I use to make everything that I make, but I can always use more because I probably break it or something. This is so nice, though. Thank you.
I'm not sure if there's threads in here that are harder to find or.
Well, it's a new set of everything. Absolutely, it's perfect.
So hopefully you can use these to further your work. And again, thank you for everything.
Yeah, of course. You gotta make sure we're the most professional looking party out here, and I'll use these to make some more stuff.
Yeah, perhaps you could embroider Fenn's new armor.
Ooh.
Well,
The last one went really well, didn't it?
the last one went really well, but it didn't blend in very well. So,
But
So you use the colors of the forest in this one.
Oh, I could do like little like gloops of color all over top of each other, like
He'll be
a whole bunch.
invisible.
It'll make you
Nobody will
blend
see
into
him.
the
Nobody will see you.
foliage.
Nobody
at
will ever
all.
see him.
I'll put like a bright orange piece so we can see you, just like
So we know
just,
not to shoot you. Yeah.
Yeah.
We can talk about
So I
this
don't hit you
further
with
at
like a
some point.
missile.
I
or a
don't.
magic missile.
That can be a project down the road somewhere.
Okay,
If you get
okay.
bored, maybe we can talk about that. But for now, let's make our way to your temple.
Yeah. Once again, as I said, it's a trek, but a few hours pass and you arrive. It's a little grown over in a couple spots. It's not like it had a lot of time to, but you can see some weeds that were just like, I'm here now. And you're like, well, that's not going to cut it. Not right there. But besides that, everything is where it should be, and it seems to be in pretty okay condition.
Are there any offerings at the temple?
I would love you to roll a luck roll for me, please.
Oh, I'd say, can I add my religion? But I have 0.
Alas.
luck.
4.
You see, like you're like looking around and you're like, oh, but then you see like a little bug that's like crawled up on one spot, and it's like, wow. Hell yeah.
Thank you.
A cool bug.
I appreciate you making your sacrifices, Bug.
The newest follower of Lady Satyr, just this weird beetle that just climbed up on the rock a bit.
So,
And then just like it looks at you, like it just is aware of you. And then it does that horrible thing that beetles do where you just don't know they're about to start flying. And it's just like that sound as it flies directly at you.
A little bit of a and then you roll back.
Flail. And the beetle like flies off into the distance.
You okay?
But now you are left to your temple.
Just a follower. So didn't expect to be here. I haven't been
Were
here
they
in so
transmuted?
long. I did, I accept all shapes and sizes and species in Lady
Of
Satyr.
course.
Whoever's vibing.
Yes.
Naturally.
Are you going to take a moment to pray, Saga?
Yes. Yes, indeed. Saga's gonna go full prayer and do a just caution everybody. I'm gonna do that one thing that I did that one time, like every time, all the time with this staff, and I'm gonna slam that down and get a big fog cloud all over the place.
All right.
She feels pretty good in that. Feels like the sea.
Yeah. You were all immersed in fog. She's like, one moment, poof.
There's a moment where like Nana has like just like this secondary anxiety response because it was a little much the last time she went into this fog cloud here, but like it passes. She's cool.
Saga, go ahead and roll religion if you're so inclined. I'll even give you advantage because you're chilling in your fun fog cloud.
Yay. Dancing lights
temple.
are going up as well with the
It is
jellyfish
just a rave
lights.
party inside of this
Yes.
little fog.
That's how you pray for Lady Satyr. Oh shit, I dropped that. Okay, well, I'll
This
just
is
take
the
it.
most glamorous prayer session I think I've ever been to.
13. That's the best.
Okay. You sit and you pray at this crossroads. The fog is spread out around you. What do you say to Lady Satyr?
Hello. It's kind of been a while, but not a while as well. Since we spoke at the town, but I haven't been here in a while. So sorry about that. But we wrapped up some of those problems that we had about people trying to kill us. So now I'm right back into the prophecy, of course. I apologize for the difficulties that I've had lately, but thankfully, things are getting right back on track. I brought everyone here to say hello to you. I hope that's all right. That's about it. Thank you for everything.
And you can hear the sound of like a cart approaching. It's a pretty busy crossroads. People come by occasionally. And you hear a guy go, I can't see. And the sound of like horses getting upset, and then the sound of wood going off road.
Oh no!
Oh,
It sounds like there was possibly an accident.
oh, Lady Seder, thank you for your telling me what's going on. I know it's been quite an accident having all of these.
Help!
Okay,
What is this?
I put the cloud down.
The obvious catastrophe that's occurred.
Yeah, Nana's gonna go help as well.
Yeah, all of you wander blindly in this fog cloud for a hot second because you can't see. And Saga's
Saga, could we please have a little less fog?
Is banishing it with the staff, and it eventually dissipates. And you can see that a mail cart had gone off-road a little bit of the way, hit a bit into the tree. The horse seems okay, just very spooked. And it looks like part of the side like popped open a bit, like where his like bag is. And a bunch of papers have spilled out across the road.
Oh!
And you can
Grab them!
Papers.
Yeah, I'd help collect them.
You guys are going over to assist?
I make sure the horse
Yes.
is okay.
Yeah. Saga, you go over to the horse and you can, people start gathering up papers quickly. Like, I'm so sorry. Saga, you walk over to the horse and you can see one of the papers like caught in the wind and is like kind of crushed up against the tree, sort of next to the horse, where you're like, oh no, Lady Seder, I'm sorry.
Is any of the mail like kind of unusually heavy?
Roll
Full of
investigation.
coins.
See, Gorbjorn.
Bjorn!
The mail jingle.
You can't open other people's mail! That's not the same as somebody's pocket!
It's still
I don't know which is
gold.
worse, but I'm here for both.
14.
Okay. You can see something that looks like a package more than a letter.
Just gonna. The guy's on the floor getting up. It's going in my bag. Everybody's not looking.
God damn it.
Honestly, I'm just gonna let you have that. I don't even need a roll. Everybody's so preoccupied. It's foggy. This guy was in an accident. This is
Fuck.
yours. You have found the opportunity and you take it. Saga, you watched as this one piece just like slammed into the tree and it sort of like plasters itself there, like stuck against the onslaught of the wind. And you can see that it's open and you're like, oh no, this letter, but it doesn't look like it's a letter. It looks like sort of something that'd be put like on a bulletin board, just like a little announcement board. And you can see written in beautiful calligraphy, oddities, art, history. Come one, come all to Ink's Traveling Museum. Find this rolling marvel on the open road between the historical landmarks of the Path of Mjolnir and the Trickster's Lighthouse. And
She said the thing!
Is covered in just like beautiful drawings of just like, look, this is a painting and this is a statue. And it has a little drawing of like a covered wagon at the bottom.
Oh my god.
Where's the prophecy?
The what?
Hold it.
I'm just holding it up.
1 second, Saga. We're getting the last of these. Give us a moment.
I'm like yelling, but the horse is right beside me. I'm like, oh, sorry.
Oh.
So
Pets,
sorry,
pets,
Mr.
pets.
Horse. You guys
Offers
are
him a
all this
sugar
stuff
cube.
up, and he's like, "I've never seen fog come out of nowhere like that. That was crazy."
Crazy. Anyway,
Very crazy.
And he gets you guys. He's like, if somebody could just like go here, and he like kind of directs people on how to like lead the horse to walk backwards so that he can get it out. And he like checks the wheels, and he's like, whew.
Nana has proficiency in animal handling, if that helps.
You would definitely could be at the front being like, hey,
Fine,
dude, you're
it's
going to
helping
walk backwards. Chill out.
It's okay, it's okay.
But you were able to get it back on track. And he's like, weird day. And he climbs up on
Torger's
top.
Torger offers him a drink or healing if he needs it.
Oh, he accepts a drink, 100%.
Hell yeah.
He's happy to take it. Thank you very much, stranger.
I'm sure he's almost to his destination.
Nope.
Oh.
Well, if you guys have any mail, I can transport it.
Oh, I need to write a letter. I don't have it ready though.
That's okay. I'll be back around. The guys will be back around. It's not just me. That would suck. He drinks. All right. Oh, be careful. Roaming fog clouds.
We'll
this-
be very careful.
Starts to head back out at a pretty slow, much slower pace now. To be cautious on his horse, and he heads out.
Guys.
What?
So we came here to Lady Sator's temple, and I said my prayers to Lady Sator, and I thought that it was bad because that guy got in an accident, but no, it's the prophecy all coming together as it always does. Look at this.
What?
And she shows you guys the little advertisement for Ink's traveling museum.
It's the
Call of Ink.
call. It's the call.
Incredible. Incredible?
I'm excited. I
A
think
lot
it's
of
time
opinions today.
we gotta go. We gotta get going. We gotta get our stuff
What?
together.
Yes, obviously. Very soon. We'll have to make preparations. We'll have to prepare supplies. We'll have to restock on all of our ammunition. So
And
much to
traveling
prepare.
with a group takes so much longer. But I
Well-
like it. So it's really, you guys have been, it's really great. It's really
Oh.
great. Way better than traveling alone. Much better.
Yeah. Saga,
Glad
you've
that we
been
could be good
presented with what
companions
you
too.
can only assume is the Call of Ink.
Oh, she's ready. She's gonna go run into the temple and do one quick I just got the message. Thank you so much. I'm so glad that you're still here talking to me and everything. Bye.
Yeah. Very excited, very giddy, still gripping the paper in your hand with the information about the museum, the traveling museum. You pick it up, you say one final prayer. You guys know there's a few hours ahead of you back on the road. If you guys take a moment, you can eat a snack, live your best lives, do a prayer. But inevitably, we'll have to head back into town because first off, that's where all your stuff is. And
Yeah.
just traveling now just to be like, all right, we're on the road, boys. And once again, if Saga was on her own, she'd be like, oh, okay. And then would have started.
Away I go!
But you guys have things you might need, which you'll have to get in the morning because most of the places will be closed when you get there.
Yeah.
But you all gather yourselves back up, kind of just like a moment of, first off, once again, the prophecy doing what it does, and that you get to leave town. Saga been chomping at the bit, just waiting for this prophecy moment. And you all start your trek back towards town. Once again, long trek. Yes, Nana?
Since it will be kind of a long trek, Nana would kind of like to find a moment where she can kind of walk alongside of Roshan, not necessarily right in the middle of everybody else, just to give them a little bit of space.
Yeah. Sure.
Okay. Nana will kind of come up alongside Ro and say, your business, of course, is your business, as Egill's business is his, but I've known you a very long time, Roshan, and things are not all hunky-dory with the happy married couple, are they?
They've got Egill spooked. He has to go meet with them at his earliest convenience and
In person?
in person, and he's worried about it.
Well, considering what he's told us about them, I cannot say that I blame him, but I'd assume you offered him assistance?
Not that he would take any.
Well, he has the full run of Galanda's hospitality, so long as it is of use to him. Whatever provisions he might need for the trek and whatever we might be able to provide that might help him ensure his safety on his way, and while he's there, we'll be happy to arrange it.
I wouldn't say I'm worried about him. But actually, there is something I wanted to tell you. And Roshan starts walking slower and slower to put more space in between the group and him and Nana so that they can talk with relative privacy. And he says, so you and Hertha and Egill are my confidants in this matter, but I've made some kind of deal with a shadow, one that talks to me, one that says part of it is in the east, and it may reside with my sister there.
Really?
And I don't think it's anything you need to worry about. And I just wanted to share in case the information becomes pertinent, but I trust you to share that information as you see fit, but I'm already a little different with these markings, so be discreet.
Of course, bro. I don't think you even really need ask. Your discretion, my discretion. I value your ability to live your life as you need to. This shadow, though. Quick question, because Mac has the smooth brain. Nana sometimes has the smooth brain. This is a Mac smooth brain moment. Has Ro talked about the shadow at all previously with Nana?
No.
No, not at all.
Not a little bit.
Okay. All right. So this is what, a new thing? Well, you've had the tattoos for a while. I think Nana did clock the tattoos when we came into town, right?
Well,
Yeah.
it happened after you guys were in town. It happened after the funeral that the tattoos got onto the hands.
Yeah. Roshan will take off his gloves and say, yeah, this is relatively new. Since the ritual, well, since we got back to town. I think that's in part due to the shadow.
All right. Have you been feeling okay since making this pact, bond, what have you?
Yes. Things are decent. Things are going well with, well, the prophecy now and with Egill and Hertha, so yes, I think things are going well.
Okay. All right. You've seemed a lot more at peace in town than you were while we were on the road. I've been worried about you. You've not been yourself for a while. Was that the shadow too?
No, I don't think I've been myself since Ave died. But
I think I can say that as well. It's been hard trying to figure out who I am without him. I can only imagine you feel the same. But you know that I said this to you before, Ro, but I do mean it. Please, please come to me if you are troubled, if you find yourself overwhelmed or unsure of where to go. You've been sitting on this since the funeral. I wish you'd have trusted me sooner.
it's not that I didn't trust you. I'm telling you because I trust you. I kept it to myself because I didn't understand it. And I've riddled out some things about it, and now I feel it's not a malign influence, so I'm slightly more confident about it.
Oh, well and good, but what if it had been a malign influence, Roshan? What if it had swayed you to stay silent? What if it had... I've been worrying over you, okay? You... Don't suffer through these things alone. Don't feel like you have to find all the answers by yourself. We're here for you. We've been traveling together for 2 months, and now we've been in Galunda together for weeks. We care for you, Roshan. I care for you. I don't want you to suffer in silence. Not when I can do something, anything, to ease that burden.
Thank you, Nana.
Of course. I'm no scholar. I mean, that much is evident. But you know I know people. And if nothing else, I'm starting to get the hang of... I don't know if I'd quite call it networking yet, but knowing who to ask.
Did someone say networking?
Saga
Here comes
slowly
Saga.
slips back into the conversation. Networking, you say. She gets her paper out. You all you sort of merge back into one group at that.
Yeah.
As the soft conversation is broken by the slight murmuring of networking.
Networking.
But you all continue forward. You eventually arrive back in Galunder after the sun has set. You know that the shops are closed. Yes?
When we pass the strange symbols,
You will not pass them going this way.
Okay, never mind.
Yeah. It was kind of like you guys went this, like that way, and then like went around and then hit the road. It would be out of your way to go back to the symbols.
Okay.
You all get home, once again, late. People are partying. People are doing what they do. I would like to know where everyone just ends up that night. So just very quickly, which house or building are you at?
Island life.
Okay.
Crashing at Nana's again.
Yeah, Nana will likely be at her house.
Okay. Gorbjorn and Tordrak.
Library.
You're gonna sleep
in.
there?
The last place he goes is where he sleeps.
All right.
He's going to be pretty pooped after walking around and doing all the things they did today. So he's been hung over 4 days straight. So, woo!
Golly.
Or
So
more
he's
likely to be looking at these words and going, whoa, right there.
So you get there and you know that you're like, I'll fall asleep here, but when I wake up in the morning, I'll have a burst of energy and I can at least start looking at where I've started. So you prep yourself at the library. Gorbjorn, are you going to be at the inn or?
Yeah.
Okay. You go to the inn. The night sort of goes as the one prior to it. The sound of partying, which eventually fades off, probably stopping around 3 a.m. is at least when like the bulk of it definitely dies down. People pass out in their homes, at the inn, at the library. It's a quiet night.
Oh, I wanted to open the package in secret.
Oh yeah! Ooh, we have
In his
packages.
inn room, is Agnet there?
I imagine there's a moment where it's just like, I'll be right out, and
Gotta look at my plunder.
Mhm.
Inside of it, you find
I imagine him like holed up in the bathroom. Don't come in.
you find a hand knitted scarf. With
Just
a little
meant
note
for somebody.
that says, "Love, Graham Graham."
Oh no!
It's pretty warm though, right?
Yeah, it's really good.
Ooh,
Oh my
It's pretty
God.
big. It has good coverage.
I'll wear it for a second and then remember that I just took it, so I'm gonna put it away.
Oh.
Casually put it back in the bag.
Could maybe like put it back at the mail office.
Or you have a new scarf, whichever.
Or you have a new scarf. I don't know.
Whichever Gorbjorn goes with.
Finally have a grand.
He's like, "Thanks, Graham Graham. I'm appreciative."
He'll have to track down his long lost grand now.
Yeah. You check. You're upset that it's not, something a little more valuable, but it's emotionally valuable to somebody. Each of you goes to your prospective place. You all know that maybe it brings some of you joy or some of you terror. You don't know that there are a bunch of children probably annoying the shit out of Faerun and Nadia. And you're like, that's good.
Yes, excellent.
And nobody in town seems to be freaking out, so perfect.
Also good.
You all head to your destinations, eventually fall asleep at your own paces. Each of you is roused from sleep by something a bit different depending on your location. The closer you are to the front of town, you can hear the sound of the alarm horn being blown. That somebody is blowing the alarm. Some of you
Nana
are
is
woken
up
by the sound.
the second she hears that.
Yeah. Some of you are woken by the sounds of people shouting. It is kind of deafening in the silence of the night. Roshan, you only are woken up by the sound of somebody hitting hard on Egill's door. Eagle's up before your eyes even open. And this person who woke up Egill talks about the alarm going off. Egill starts putting a coat on. Everybody hears that something is happening or has happened near the entrance of town. Would each of you go? Half of you are
Yes.
together already, so.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
But
Yeah.
who
No,
gets
shall
there
we?
first?
Nana is like at the door. Are you ready?
Here's my question, just because people are going quickly. Do you grab a weapon and do you put on your
Yes.
armor? If you put on your
Yeah,
armor,
I
it
mean-
takes more time.
Fuck.
Gaga doesn't need to do either of those things.
I
so she'll
don't
just be
need
like, I'll go
armor.
look.
Yeah.
My
Yeah,
armor class is shit without my armor is the only thing.
It's up to
I'll let
you.
you know
It's
if
just
it's
going to add a
dangerous.
few more minutes before you can run.
Fuck. No, it's fine. Not gonna put on the armor.
No,
I'm
yeah,
grabbing a spear from the closet and I'm going.
Fen will grab his bow and quiver, kukri, and that's it. And
Okay.
be gone.
Roshan, you see Eagles going. He like glances to you to see if you're coming.
Yeah.
Okay, you get up. Tordrek, you hear the sound of the alarm and people rushing around. Would you like to also go?
Yeah, he'll just wear his speedos and just have his shield and his weapon.
All right. You all go. Some of you grabbing what you can quickly, not taking the time to put on armor because you have to go. When was the last time, Nana? You've maybe heard this alarm sounded once, and it was during the day, and somebody's like, "That's a big fox," you know. But there is something unsettling about the quiet of the night being broken by the sound of something happened. And all of you make your way there, running quickly towards the entrance of town where the alarm was sounded. You can see that most people have stayed in their homes because that's not their business. They don't need to go out. There are people who handle this.
I'm the people who handle this.
That a lot of Jarlsmen have fully made their way here. Herserson, Alec is here. The whole gang rolls up. All of the like Agnet is up and moving, except she is slightly behind you because she is taking the time to put her armor on. She won't leave without it, but everybody makes their way forward, running as fast as they can through the freezing night, freezing cold, until you all get to the front of town. And you can just see that there's one guy you can recognize is that he's a guard for Galunder. And he stands in the dark holding a lantern. And he seems so incredibly hesitant, but has stopped a horse. A horse is stopped in the middle of town, and you can see that there's a rider upon it. And it's hard to see in the dark, but eventually just enough light catches it, or you get close enough. And everybody who's made it here before you has just stopped and staring. And they stare at it. Just, there is silence to the people who get here. And you can see shirtless and malformed, sitting atop this horse.
Shit.
Is Autumnus. And you stop and you look at him. All of you instantly know that he has passed. And you hear Herserson mumble under his breath, Blood Eagle. And you can see glinting in the light the places where Autumnus's back has been pulled open, where ribs
Saga, look away!
Broken and brought up around him, held in place in horrible wings. Herserson is stuck. People are just stuck staring at this. The Jarl has arrived on the scene. Everybody looks to Autumnus, and the Jarl steps forward, stepping to the front. And you can see that there is, it looks like either it is just how the blood looks in the moonlight, how sometimes it just glints black, markings all over his body, from the wings to his arms to his chest. And you can see as he is just splayed out before you, painted elegantly on his chest is this symbol.
Fuck.
And from his neck, you can see that his arms have been cut off a bit at the middle. One of them, you can only assume it's his, wrapped in cord, dangling from his neck like a necklace. And painted across his arms in this blood, this black ichor, it says, "Return to the earth." And he sits there like a monument in the quiet of the night as the Jarl looks on. And you watch as she takes a moment to compose herself. And you hear Herserson turn to her. "I haven't seen that since the fucking war," he murmurs to her. And you are all looking at this now abomination of a man. He's not moving. There's no animation about him. And this horse just seems so tired. The Jarl steps up. And Roshan, you can hear next to you as Egill looks on. He murmurs fuck under his breath.
You could say that again.
The Jarl looks kind of to see who she has and goes first to a Jarlsman. I want people in the woods, half in the woods, half in the town. And it is quick. They spring into action.
Before they leave, can one of us, Roshan, will go speak to them and say, we found this symbol, and then give them a rough location?
Yeah,
Yes,
you're able
that's what I
to
was-
catch one of them by the arm as they go and start to scatter.
Yeah.
You hear that they relay everything to each other in just very quick, like fragment sentences. None of it is like full statements, things that they have learned to speak to each other. And the Jarl like turns a hand, like you see Hersherson starts to go to make like a beeline to the wood. Oh yes, I just saw in the notes. Yeah, Hersherson is not returned from the dead. I mean Van Deal. They're very similar men in my head sometimes.
Oh no.
That would be spoopy. Van Deal goes to make like a line for the woods, following some of the Jarlsmen. You can see Valder has also started to follow them. The Jarl stops Van Deal and basically corrals him back over to all of you. I don't want any of you going anywhere.
What is this?
She sort of sucks her teeth in her, God, I really want to say Hersherson today. Van Deal says, this is a threat, and looks to the Jarl. We'll find who did this, and they will be punished. Anyone associated with this will be punished. He may not have been a chief, but I need all of you to stay together. I need you to return to your homes and your tents, and I need you to wait there until someone can come and question you.
Saga, Nana, come with me. And I want to lead them to the tent where Vandal's children are.
Saga wanted to say something to Egill first.
Yeah.
Just like at some point during this, like, but he said not to go deeper. It worked. You didn't have to do that stuff. Like, it was okay.
He murmurs very softly to you. I need you to believe me, I did not do this.
How does he look?
Roll insight.
Okay. $14.
Okay. There's something unsettling, but you don't feel that he is lying to you. By this time, Hertha has made her way onto the scene, sort of breathing heavy, and then like turns and looks at Autumnus and like quickly averts her eyes. The Jarl speaks up. I need the chiefs to stay here with me. Her gaze turns to you, Nanna. I expect to see all of you in your home. I know you have residence here. Every single one of you head there now.
Nana will bow and she'll look to Fen. Can this be done at my place?
Who's looking after Vandal's children? They're not at home tonight.
I need
Okay,
you to go now. The Jarl speaks up, watching you just murmur to each other. To your homes. You will be questioned there. Stay together. Go.
Come
Okay.
on. Come on.
As we're walking, I'm going to try something, and I have no idea if it's going to work. As we're walking, I'm going to try to pencil on a small piece of parchment. Come to Nana's home. I'm going to roll it into a tiny little roll and put it on Jenny's leg and say, "Find Gaza and set her free."
Okay.
I have no idea if it's going to work. I just an attempt.
You all are instructed to make your way to Nana's house. All of you going in quick step, sticking together.
Tordrick's going to try to break off from the group and go back to the library and get his stuff because he's freezing to death.
Well.
I will say that Nana's place is closer. At least there would be a fire inside.
And Nana would definitely lend him like blankets and
reference.
things.
But it's up to you if you would like to disobey the Jarl and break off.
He does because he saw that symbol on the body, and his whole thing for being there was to find out what that symbol meant.
I'll go
Okay.
with Tordrick.
You all watch Tordrick break off from the group. What'd you say, Gorbjorn?
I'll join him.
Okay. You two
Don't
break off
be
from the
seen.
group.
Please be careful,
And I-
guys.
And I start rolling.
I
Roll
imagine
to the direction
Gorbjorn
of
just
the
like
library.
grabs Tordrick and like just rolls with him on his arm.
Oh no.
Roll carefully.
roll
Drive
roll
safe.
safely.
Good journey.
The rest of you go back to Nana's place. And you open the door. And Nana, you can see placed tenderly in the middle of the floor is one of those symbols. One of the twisted and knotted pieces of wood sitting tenderly in your floor. And then you hear the creak of wood coming from your bedroom. And the first thing you see is the protrusion of tusks and a face of broken bone and spike
Major.
moves its way from the doorway, large in body, twisted and broken, a gnarled, terrible looking abomination. And then from the shadows on the other side, you see smaller ones move. And that is where we are going to stop for tonight.
I mean, that's where we roll for initiative, right?
No!
Okay,
Tell us
just
to
say,
doing it.
Saga's casting mage armor. I don't know if I have to wait, but she's gonna. And as soon as she sees something coming around the corner, she's doing it.
Nana's gonna go for bark skin for herself.
As Nana, Saga, Fen, and Roshan enter a room full of abominations, we are going to stop.
Ooh.
Thank you all so much for being here with us today. We truly appreciate it. We love getting to tell you guys this story. And I'm sure everybody is very excited to roll initiative or go hang out in the library. Either one is pretty cool. And I like it. I just see combat intermittent with just like very intense study. And that's my aesthetic. But thank you all again. We really appreciate it. I'm sure you guys have been dying for maybe a little combat. Thank you again here at the Dice Cult. We have plenty of other things going on, a lot of stuff happening on Tuesdays. Frank, would you tell us what happens on Tuesdays?
The Legends of Theia adventure stream at 6:30 Pacific, 9:30 Eastern time. A great sacrifice was made last week. that may help save the planet from total destruction. One of the players that was in our group earlier, Cell, took her life so that the rest of the planet could have life again. And so the rest of the party is moving forward and attempting to have the celestials that run the universe believe in the mortals of the planet again. So a lot of fun, a lot of drinking. Come by tomorrow night. We'll be having a lot of fun.
That's how you sell your story to the gods that run the universe, is get drunk.
And I'm going to hype it up for a few weeks because it's fun and I liked it. Currently, we have finished with Historical Mistoricals, but if you want to watch the whole mini-series, either part 1 or part 2, very fun watches, you can go to youtube.com/thedicecult, and you can watch all of that there. You can binge it. I bet you could finish it. Honestly, a good day of binging, you could finish that and get all of the ghost hunting, get that itch scratched for some terrible ghosts on a boat,
You love some
ride.
Monster of the Week.
Or if you want to catch up on, maybe you're like, oh, I have to catch up on this, or I want to catch up on Legends of Theia. All of our shows are up there on the YouTube for you to start watching, catch up on, get what you need. And then on Saturdays, we have Vampire the Masquerade and The Last Remaining Light. This goes live every Saturday at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I don't know why that was hard for me in that moment. But currently, the coterie is on a mission. They've done pretty well with their mission. Good for us. And now maybe we're in trouble again, and it got bad at the end. But we are going to burn Dillard's to the ground, and that's all that matters.
Dillard's deserves it.
But as long as the mall is up in flames, what are you going to do?
Yeah.
So if you're interested in a little chaos, you could join us on Saturday. If you want to keep up with us, we are at Backs of Gods on Instagram and Twitter. We have a lot of art over on Instagram, NPCs, player art, maps. Currently, we've had some little work in progresses by Abby, and I can't wait to see the final piece. I'm so very excited as we get closer to that day. But if you want to come follow us on there, and then on Twitter, we keep you up to date with what we are doing, and we put some art. Who knows? Good time. But thank you all again so much. We really appreciate having you guys here, getting to tell you guys this fun and sometimes terrible story. So thank you again.
Sometimes.
We are here, same place, same time, every Monday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And we will see you guys next week. Good night.